This one is for the UFC 271 co-main event, the Clash of the Titans, Derrick Lewis against Tai Tuivasa. Of course, we're all very excited for this one. If we have a quick look at the stats, so Derrick Lewis is the one with the experience advantage, 26-8, and I always forget how much experience he's had in the UFC. He was 10-2 when he joined the UFC. He's had a massive amount of experience at the top level, and he is the leader for knockouts as well in the heavyweight division. I think maybe in all of the UFC. But, you know, he's a scary individual, of course. 26 wins on his record, 21 by knockout. But he has received knockout losses as well. He has been caught and hurt and dropped. Usually we see him physically start to break a little bit first. But, you know, there is a good chance here that Tai Tuivasa might be the one knocking out the knockout king. You know, this is why we're all excited for this fight, because it could really go either way. You know, it depends on A, who lands first, B, who comes with the right approach. I wouldn't say game plan, because I think Tai Tuivasa is going to come in with a game plan, but I think Derrick Lewis is going to be very reactive based on what he experiences in the fight. I think he's a very instinctive fighter. Okay, quick look at the stats. So 26-8 for Derrick Lewis with 1 no contest, 14-3 for Tai Tuivasa. 1-inch height advantage for Derrick Lewis and a 4-inch reach advantage. When we look at the rest of the stats, I mean specifically the striking stats, they all lean slightly towards Tai Tuivasa. He's got a higher striking output, slightly higher accuracy by 2% marginal, slightly higher strikes absorbed per minute, but better defense. So, you know, he puts himself in range to take shots, to land shots. He has got a good trade in most instances, but in this Derrick Lewis fight, he's got to be careful. He can't be crashing forward too much. I think he might punch his way into clinch, and I think he might use his clinch to wear Derrick Lewis out. But even so, Derrick Lewis is dangerous in the clinch. He's got good knees. You know, he's just a handful of an individual until he gets tired. This, of course, is a really fun fight. I am excited for Tai Tuivasa to have this opportunity, because for as successful as Derrick Lewis has been in this division, there is definitely a limit to his skill set. There's definitely big holes in his game. Now, Tai, I feel like he's working on those things. He's trying to become better. He wants to be a world champion. He wants to be a professional MMA fighter, and he knows that he's got a long way to go. I kind of feel like Derrick Lewis, I mean, you know, he's what? 34 fights into his career. I just kind of feel like he's not necessarily going to be working on really developing his game at this stage. I feel like he's going to try and get as far as he can with the skills that he's got and maybe work a little bit of takedown defense. But I don't know. I feel like this might be, like I said, a great opportunity for Tai to come in and really upset the apple cart. I think people are going to expect Derrick Lewis to be able to win this one based on his ranking and his pedigree. But I think we've seen glimpses of brilliance out of Tai Tuivasa, and I think he's a very smart individual, in spite of the whole shoeies and the partying and all that kind of stuff. I think in his quiet time, I think he's quite considered. And I think he'll look at Derrick Lewis like a problem he can solve. And I think he's smart enough to look at the Mark Hunt fight and be able to see ways to that victory. Really interesting one. Of course, there's always a massive risk with Derrick Lewis, and that's why we're all intrigued. But for power, I think this one's a pretty even trade-off.